I'm trying so hard not to play with my hair. Every time I edit a video and I see how much I play with my hair, it grinds my gears. Tell me to stop playing with my fucking hair. Welcome back to my channel, babes. It's been a minute and I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood to talk about some romances. So I finished The Boys of Tommen a few weeks ago and I have been so badly slumped ever since finishing that series. If you haven't seen like my chit chat review discussion video and you love the series, you can head over onto my channel and check this video out. But since that, every book that I've opened, I don't give a fuck about. Until Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin. I reread those two books and now I'm out of my slump. That's the second time I have reread that series this year. I don't know what's going on with me this year. It's just a rereading year. Like every time I get slightly slumped, I just reread my favorite books again. And I think I'm doing that because previously, years before this year, I would never allow myself to reread because that would mean I wouldn't have recommendations to give to you guys. But because I've kind of like, not given up, but it's not my priority anymore to give you guys recommendations, and I've tried to make it not a priority so I could fall back in love with reading, which has been the case. I have fallen back in love with reading. But because of that, yeah, I never reread my favorite series. So now, anytime I'm feeling slightly fucking slumped after like reading a amazing series or romance book, I pick up one of my old favorites. It gets me out of that fucking dreaded slump that we hate where we're staring at a wall and we want to read a book, but we just can't read anything else because the last book that we just read is still on our fucking minds. Anyway, my TBR, I've curated a wicked list of books that I am eyeing the fuck off. Multiple different kind of subgenres. We've got fantasy, and then we've got contemporary, and then we've got some dark romance. If you guys have read any of these books, please let me know in the comments below your thoughts, feelings, emotions, opinions. Let me know if you think that I should read it ASAP Rocky, or if you hated it, let me know if you hated it. Just don't spoil anything. Also, if you haven't read any of these and they weren't on your radar, maybe they will be now after this video. The sun is definitely playing funny buggers in this room today, so just ignore that. And also, I've got no nails on and my tan is fucked. But I don't care. We're gonna start off with the fantasy category. So if you are not a typical fantasy reader or you don't read fantasy romance at all, you probably want to skip this part of the video. Though I do suggest you try the genre because I used to be a snob. It took me many years to discover and to read fantasy romance on my own. So many people were telling me to read certain books and I just wouldn't because I can't be forced to read books just because someone else is recommending it to me. Like I have to come to that book on my own terms when I'm in the mood for it, when I'm ready for it, when I want to experience it myself. Read fantasy because wings and powers and bat boys and all types of shit like that just tickles your dick in a way that it's never been tickled, okay? Contemporary and dark romance can get repetitive and boring, predictable if you read a lot of it. So switch up your subgenre, baby boo, especially if you're in a slump. Fuck off, son. Fuck off, son. God, I love spring and it's coming. I can smell it in the fucking air. I'm one of those people that can smell seasons. Can you? The first fantasy novel, I should say series because it is a series that's on my radar that I've been eyeing off. And when I say I've been eyeing this off, I've had this on my TBR for a good 4 fucking years. Like 4 fucking long years. People have been up my ass trying to get me to read this book for so many years now. And I did post about it on Instagram the other day and so many of you were like, oh my God, it's happening. But I've only read a few pages. And I've had my period this week and my brain just does not fucking work. It does not work when I've got my period, so I didn't continue on with it. But I will. And the novel I'm talking about is this one here, From Blood and Ash. Now I believe this is like a 5-book series, possibly. 5 or 6 books. And what I have gathered from the fandom that love this series, that the first 2 books are mind-blowing, some of the best fantasy, romancy books that they've ever read, but the series goes downhill from that. And so many people have said, like, once I do delve into this, they're interested to see my opinion on the series as a whole. It is very intimidating because there is so many books to fucking read and they're big baddies. And with fantasy, obviously there's a different type of style of writing when you're reading a fantasy novel with most authors. Fantasy romance takes a little bit more from you. Like, it requires more of your brain, more brain work. So you definitely have to be in the mood to read something like this. Anyway, I don't know anything about this fucking book except for I'm pretty sure it's got vampires in it and the smut is meant to be spicy as hell. I'm intrigued, right? I owned this years ago. I don't know what happened to it. This is what happens with me. I buy, which is why I've cut down on buying so many books. Throughout the years, I would receive books from authors, receive books from you guys, buy my own books, and I get so overwhelmed that I either sell them, not the ones that have been gifted to me, but I either sell them, give them away to friends and family, donate them, and then it comes to a point where I'm like, hey, I want to read a certain book, but I don't own it anymore because I've got, anyway. That's besides the point. I've started it. I've read a couple of pages just to get the vibe off the book. Like, what type of brain power do I need to read this? I feel like with a fantasy novel, the first 50 pages, you don't know what the fuck is going on and you're just like, what? And then it just starts all clicking. Okay, it just starts all clicking. But I'm excited to read this. This is on my radar in the fantasy genre category. Also, this book that has been floating about recently on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Mainly TikTok though, and it is by Kelly Hart and it's called Quicksilver. Now, I've seen a couple of girls. I wonder if I have their TikTok handles saved or their videos saved. If I do, I'll put them on the screen or down below. Can't remember who was talking about this, but I stumbled across a video on TikTok and the girl that was posting about Quicksilver was like, I've been in a slump, nothing's been hitting, and this has done it for me. Quicksilver. I don't know anything about it. So this is what you're going to gather from this video. I don't know much about any of these books, right? They're on my list because I've either seen it about on social media, someone's recommended it to me. I don't read blurbs and shit most of the time. I don't like knowing anything about a novel before I go into it. Like, I don't. If I know too much about a novel from social media, I won't read the fucking thing because I like shock factor, shock value type of shit. I used to be the type of reader that if I read like a age gap romance, like, and loved it, like whatever trope I was into at the time, I would like read back to back that trope until I got bored and then I'd move on to another trope. But now, I don't know, like I just pick up whatever. Maybe I might read the blurb, I might read one review, and then I just nosedive into the book and hope for the fucking best. And I feel like every time I do that, it's the best experience and I end up loving the book so much more. So yeah, I'm not going to be reading blurbs because one, I can't be bothered. I'm just a bit lazy today. I want to film and chat, but I don't want to read blurbs. All I know is this is a fantasy novel by Kelly Hart that everyone is orgasming over. I don't know if it's spicy. I don't know if it's fade to black. I don't know what tropes. I don't know what type of magical world this is. If it's fae, if it's other magical bit, I have no idea. All I know is I've seen girls cry over it. I've seen girls say that they have been in 6-month-long fucking reading slumps and this has got them out of it. So she went on the list. And this motherfucker on the cover looks divine. You know, tattooed, dark hair, he's crying. What are you crying about, boo? Like, I want to know. Holly Renee is an author that I find is quite underrated. Now, I've only read one novel from her, but that novel that I read from her years ago, it was back in 2021, Where Good Girls Go to Die was such a swoony good book and I really liked her writing style. She's been writing fantasy and I've seen it on Instagram. I love her covers too. The first one that we have here is A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. Already I like it. This would be wicked good if you're new to fantasy. Really easy to read. And I like the tropes that have kind of appeared. It's gonna be like an arranged marriage. She has to marry into this high fae royal family because their powers are dormant. She's like the curse breaker, okay? They need her to tap into all this power that they are entitled to. And I think we've already met her future husband. And it's vibing. It's vibing and I'm excited. there's a lot of reasons why I'm excited to read this. It's 290 pages, the first book, so it is a trilogy. The reviews so far have been really good. Apparently it's fast-paced, everything you want, like really good writing, really good chemistry, character development, everyone's into it. So I'm gonna pump this out this weekend. So this is on my TBR. And then following this, I really wanna read her newest fantasy series. There's 2 books in the series. It's not complete yet, and I believe that the second book came out just this week, and that is The Veiled Kingdom. I love this cover. Oh, do I know anything about this? No, but when I did post that I had this on my Kindle on Instagram, a couple of you guys were like, you're gonna fucking froth this, MMC. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to you, bitch. So yes, Holly Renee, she's writing fantasy. It's on my list. It's on my TBR, and if it's good, you're gonna hear from me, bitch. You're gonna hear from me. Let's get into the contemporary and dark romances that I have been eye-fucking on my Kindle. The first one is this, Beautiful Fiend by Lola King. Now, I've seen this on my Kindle, on my personal Kindle. It's been suggested to me. One of you, I'm sorry, I cannot remember your name, you messaged me like 2 weeks ago possibly, and you said, you need to read this series right fucking now. You will love this. It's dark. It's not morally grey. It's fucking morally black, bitch. And it's to do with like gang members, like different like rival gangs. Bitch, you know me. You know me. I'm a criminal loving hoe. I love gritty, dark, real, like grimy romances. I love it. Like a billionaire romance, you know, mafia, I love it all, right? But give me gangs, crime, fucking low economical, grimy romances. I froth that shit. She also told me that this was like, yeah, morally black, really fucking dark. It's like enemies to lovers, rival gangs, one of the dude kidnaps the, I don't know, something along those lines. This is a series as well. I don't know what the names of the other books are. I'll put them on the screen. But yeah, Beautiful Fiend, dealing with gangs. So when I'm in the mood to turn into a dark romance slut, this is where I'm going. Hopefully it ticks all the boxes. I also saw Fit Teacher Rachel post about this past week. So I feel like this book, you're gonna see it a lot. This series, you're gonna see it a lot. A lot of people are reading it right now, and it's getting, I don't want to say it's getting hyped, but I feel like it's going to. So maybe I should read that now. Oh no, too many options. Too many options, and then I get bloody indecisive. It's the Gemini in me. Five Brothers by Penn Dougie, baby, is on my list. I bought it. I got the ebook. I got it, girl. I got it when it came out. Yes, I did. Why haven't I read it yet? I don't know. I haven't read a book from Penelope Douglas in such a long time. I think the last one I read from her was Tryst 6 Venom. I haven't read like the Pirate Girls or any of that series. I don't know. I wasn't obsessed with Tryst 6 Venom. And that kind of like put a damper on me with her books, because we know that back in the day, Credence and Birthday Girl and The Devil's Night were my life. I loved them when I first read them. But I have seen that if you liked Credence, you're going to love Five Brothers. So I'm intrigued and interested, and obviously it's on my list. I'll get around to it. It's a nice little standalone. A lot of these books are parts of series, and that's a lot to commit to, but if I need like a quick little palette cleanser, I'm coming a penny. The Bonus by T.L. Swan. Oh, my girl, my Aussie queen. I love T.L. Swan, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. The last couple of books I've read from her have not hit. Like Mr. Masters, The Takeover, another one of my favorites. Some books from her that hold a place in my heart and will forever. But yeah, there's been quite a few books that she's released over the years that I have not been into. Kind of similar to like Cora Riley. Like her books just haven't been hitting me the way that I want them. So The Bonus, I've heard some pretty bad things about this one. Okay, the reviews aren't great, especially from friends of mine that love TL and read her consistently. They read The Bonus and they were like, it ain't it, bitch. But I do want to try and give it a go myself, just because I haven't read anything from her in such a long time. And I feel like TL has a writing style that is so easy to read. Like, you can eat her books up so fucking quickly because she's mainly a dialogue writer, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. There's not too much like prousey lyrical shit, which, you know, some people dislike. But if you're like slumping or like you just need something to just devour and enjoy, she's a great author to go to. So I do have this on my list. Whether or not I'm running to it, I'm not running. I would have read it by now if I was dying to read it and really wanted to, like, you know, experience it for myself. But it's on my list and I may or may not get around to it. This one here has been on my TBR for a while, and I see it. I see it everywhere, and I follow the author as well, and it's always in my Kindle recommendations. Like, it's always just like popping up saying like, bitch, you need to read this. The Wildflower by J.L. Beck. No, sorry, The Wallflower by J.L. Beck. I think it's meant to be like a dark college secret society. It might not even be secret society. It might be sports. I don't know. But I saw like a little snippet of this book and this series, because it is a series yet again, on Instagram the other day from the author. And it was like a sex scene between the love interests that are meant to be siblings or step siblings or something. And I was like, what? Okay, I haven't read Taboo in a while. And I feel like the taboo genre now is so watered down because there's too many pansies out there that want to shit on your dick. If you want to read something taboo and just have a fucking whoa, bitch, what the fuck is that? Enjoyable time. So I don't feel like taboo. I feel like taboo as a genre is kind of watered down now, and it's like diluted as fuck. Like, and it's hard to find something that's actually quite taboo. So this gave off taboo vibes, and it's meant to be dark and like all these things. I've never read anything from the author, but I'm eyeing her off. I'm eye-fucking her. I see her in my Instagram feed and I'm like, I'm keeping my eye on you, bitch. Let me know, like with this one, please let me know if you've read this series, this book, particularly this one book, because I need to know your feelings, thoughts and emotions. I need to know if you are going to encourage me to read this, if it's worth it, if it's like the next big thing. I'm always looking for the next big thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always looking for my next obsession, because I love getting obsessed with books. But yes, I'm intrigued. I keep repeating myself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My brain's tapped out. I have my period, okay? So brain doesn't really work, and I'm just like 1 + 1 = 17. Then we have Greenlight by Jessie Hall. Yeah. Greenlight by Jessie Hall. I love Jessie Hall. She's one of my favorite authors. She's one of those authors I've discovered over the past the past 2 years, I want to say, that have really just been like, wow, yes, like she just writes everything that I love, like everything, no matter how different, and her books are so different. Like, she's got Hawk, which is like a cheating romance, and then she's got Kid, which is like trauma bonding and like drug addiction, and then she's got The Canary Cowards, which is a sports romance, and then she did That Sick Love, which is like a stalker romance, and now she has Greenlight, which is a step sibling mystery, like enemies to lovers, like brutal bullying. Now I'm 20% into this because I bought this the day it was released, because she had been dropping it for over a year, and I was like, if you put, and I'm not being rude, like I actually said this to her in her DMs, if you keep fucking hinting this book and not giving it to us, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, because the teasers were just insane. Now, yes, I bought it when it released, 20% in, and I do like it. Like, Shane is in fucking insane, and I love how there is a mystery aspect to this. Like, it feels like a bit like a thriller, and you know me, I love a bit of a thriller romance vibe. But I was slumping after Boys of Tommen when I tried to read this, so I've put it to the side and I will return. And I know that I'm going to fucking love this with my entire heart. Just because I DNF a book doesn't mean I don't like it. It just means I am an intuitive reader, a mood reader, and I need to be in the right mindset to enjoy certain books. Yes, sometimes I DNF books because I just genuinely don't like them, or like it's just not clicking with me, and that's fine. But most of the time, like, it's very rare that I come across a book that I don't actually like. Like, in almost everything I read, I genuinely like. But yeah, the DNF status just depends on my mood at the time. So I'm putting this to the side. You should read this if you're a dark romance queen, because I fucking know you're gonna love it, just from what I've read. Like, there's one scene in a bathtub where he wraps her head around the fucking faucet and calls her a gutter rat or some shit, and I was just like, ah! Something fucking demonic was fucking born inside me when I read that. I was like, no, no. And just the whole opening scene, oh, you guys are gonna love it. So yeah, I will come back to it. I know I'm gonna love it. I'm just not in the mood for that type of romance right now. Let me know the romances on your TBR, ones that you're like eyeing off, that you're really like interested in reading. Also let me know what your current favorite book is. Like, give me suggestions, recommendations in the comments below. Your opinions on any of these novels, if you've read them and enjoyed them, or if you read them and you hate them. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for watching and hanging out with me today. I hope you have a good day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.